قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new episode coming to you every Saturday between Maghrib and Isha, Mecca time. Ask that we usually begin with 3 questions from the emails. And I have the questions in front of me, but I thought of changing the pace a little bit and begin with something that is a little bit or much better than the questions. And that is, with the sunset of today in Saudi Arabia, this inaugurates the beginning of an era, of a season, which the Prophet ﷺ indicated by saying, there are no days better where Allah loves whatever good deeds you give more than these 10 days. ما من أيام العمل الصالح فيها أحب. No days that good deeds are more beloved to Allah than these 10 days. The companion said, even jihad? We know that jihad is the best. The Prophet said, even jihad. Except a man who goes out in the cause of Allah Azza wa Jal with his soul and wealth and does not come back with either one. So these days, the coming 9 days, including the day of Eid, of course, but it's exempted from fasting. These 10 days are the best days of the whole dunya, of the whole world. Even better than Ramadan, according to the majority of people. When Allah says, وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ, Abdullah bin Mas'ud and Abdullah bin Zubair, may Allah be pleased with them all, say that these layal al-ashr are the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Allah swears by them in the Quran. And the Prophet said himself, alayhi أفضل أيام الدنيا, the best days of this world are the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Therefore, it is a call for me and you to do far greater than what we used to do in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. In Ramadan, especially in the last 10 nights, everybody around you is fasting through the day, worshipping Allah through the night, offering Taraweeh, Tahajjud, reciting the Quran, anticipating Laylat al-Qadr, the night of decree. So worshipping Allah is easy because everybody else is doing it. These 10 days of Dhul Hijjah are quite difficult because ignorance is widely spread. Negligence among the Muslims is very high. Therefore, it's rare to find someone fasting in these days. It's rare to find someone going out of his way to finish the Quran twice or maybe 3 times in these blessed days and nights. You won't find people going out of their way trying to connect their kinship, which was severed due to any simple or silly reason. You would not find people paying for orphanages or widows or poor people. There are thousands of people who need medication for their diabetes, heart problems, dialysis, and they can't afford it. There are thousands of people who can't pay off their rents and they are threatened to be vacated. There are people who don't have power because they could not pay the electricity bill. This is your season. And the Prophet told us, ﷺ, that there is or there are no days, righteous deeds are more beloved to Allah than these days. So if you want to do something Allah loves, this is your chance. But if you want to be negligent like everybody else, if you don't want to make up for your shortcomings during the last 10 nights of Ramadan, if you want to be like everybody else, the thousands and the millions and the billions of humans living on earth, if you want to be like them, then this or these words will not penetrate your heart. It would enter from one ear and exit from the other. Those whom Allah loves will help them, will encourage them, will give them the enthusiasm to pursue the things that He loves Azza wa Jal, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. I pray to Allah that He grants us this gift of His and to make us among those blessed to offer as many good deeds as we can in these blessed 10 days. Ahmad from South Africa. Ahmad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
May Allah bless you and keep you steadfast, inshallah, Sheikh.
Ameen, and you as well, Akhi.
Like, my question, Sheikh, is we know we follow the Sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Khulafa al-Rashidi.
Correct.
So my question is, Uthman radiallahu anhu came up with the Sunnah of the 2 adhans of Jum'ah. Our Imam of Masjid recently said there is no need for 2 adhan, 1 is enough. And he also gave his reasons. And he said also Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam only gave 1 adhan. So is it then if you just give 1 adhan on Jum'ah?
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. Latifa from the US.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Alaykum assalam wa barakatuh.
So I know that women are required to wear socks when they're praying salah or when they're going out. But I read from somewhere that said that even though women wear socks when they're praying salah, the socks only conceal the shape of it only conceal the color of the skin, but it did not conceal the shape of the feet. So when they are praying salah, they have to make sure the abaya they are wearing covers the feet, and if they fail to do so, the salah is invalid.
Okay, I will answer inshallah. Taimur from the UK.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Is it permissible for men to pray at home if it's raining outside?
Okay, I will answer inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazak. And we have Misbah from Turkey. Misbah. Misbah from Turkey. Okay. Halima from France. Assalamu wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, there is something that normally happens all the time. I have a brother, when urinating, he gets splashes of urine at the back of his laps. After washing with water, he pour water on the top of his laps, assuming water have touched the exact place. But he gets whisperings of shaitan that water did not touch the exact place. So he will wet his hands with water and clean the back of his both laps with his wet hand. After cleaning, the water in his hands fell on his clothes and other parts of his body, but he ignored. Is his prayer valid with the clothes?
I will answer inshallah. Faizan from India.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Yes, Sheikh, actually I have a question about wuzu. For example, I have wuzu already. I have already wuzu, so I have wearing shorts, but they are below my knees. So is my wuzu valid if my shorts gets upper above my knees?
I will answer you inshallah. And we have Labib from Bangladesh. Labib.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, here in our country, we have a custom that when the sister gets married, the husband of the sister, our brother-in-law, when he comes to our house, we make a gate so that he has to pay in order to enter. And there is no free mixing, by the way, and this is due to the fund. Some scholars are of the opinion that this is not permissible. And if you ask them why, he says that it is the Prophet ﷺ said that it is not permissible to take money from someone without his willing. So we don't know, Sheikh, whether this guy is giving us willingly or not, but he's laughing and he's giving to us. Now the question is, the money that we get, is it halal for us or not?
Okay, I will answer inshallah. Jannatul Firdaus from the US.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamualaikum.
My question is, I heard people say that when you read Surah Kahf and finish it on Friday, it's actually to save you from the fitna of Dajjal. So if anybody reads the Kahf, so for next 2 Fridays, they will be lightened or something like that. I just want to know what they mean by light.
The light or the fitna?
Actually, if you can explain both. Thank you.
Okay, I will answer inshallah. And Riyal from Bangladesh? Riyal? Or Riyal?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam.
Sheikh, my question is it permissible for a Muslim to support non-Muslim country in sports, like people follow or support France, Italy, Germany, or Brazil in football, and Australia, England, New
I will
Zealand?
I will answer inshallah. Sally from Germany.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salatullah.
When we wash the face in wudu, what is meant from ear to ear? Is it the beginning from the ear or the whole ear? And what about the earrings?
Okay, I will answer inshallah. And we have Sharif from India. Sharif Bhai. Okay, Muhammad from the Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
I'm Sharif from India.
Okay.
Sheikh, my question was, my friend, his father is sick, and he was serving his father much, but still, for some reason, his father got angry with him. So I think he got too sad and he left the home for a whole day approximately. And his parents were searching for him. But when he returned, he burst into tears. And we as his friends are afraid that if this continues, he might do something unexpected. So how do we advise him as friends?
Okay. Muhammad from, Abir from Pakistan.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Hayakum Allah.
Ahlan wa sahlan. Yes, what can I do for you?
I just want to know is the difference between fasq nikah, khula and talaq. Can you please tell me the difference between these three?
Fasq and khula and
khula
talaq.
and talaq.
I will answer you inshallah. Okay, that was Abir. And then we have Salihin from Canada.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salatullah.
Sheikh, my question is it true that the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah is the best days of the year and the 10 nights of Ramadan is the best nights of the year?
Okay. Wajazak. And we have Muhammad from the Emirates.
Hello, Sheikh. My question is burping a sign of overeating?
Is what?
Is burping a sign of overeating?
Burping. Okay. And Muhammad from the US.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I wanted to know, is 401k haram by all means, or there is a condition it to be halal?
Okay. I will answer you, inshallah. And Muhammad Saleh from India.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I'm currently 18 years old and I'm doing bachelor's. In my college, they are not allowing me to grow beard. As I'm 18, I started developing facial hairs. So can I trim that beard without shaving it?
Okay, I will answer inshallah. And we have Muhammad from Pakistan.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Salamullah.
Sir, I have a question regarding to Ahl Sunnah wal Jamaat. You say that Ahl Sunnah wal Jamaat is not sect, but when we say to himself Ahl Sunnah wal Jamaat, our sect automatically will be generated. That's the reason Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, and four school of thought not called to himself Ahl Sunnah, Ahl Shia. So please explain it.
Okay.
So we not need to make sect, divide Islam. This is devil planning. So
I will try to answer your question, though it's not very clear. Shihab from Bangladesh.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I have heard that if a Muslim ruler have power, then it is a must for him to conquer the Kafir land. So he first have to give them dawah. Then if they deny, then he have to tell them that he should hand over the authority. And if not, then the Muslim ruler will have to go on jihad. And hence, jihad is always first for this ummah. Is this all true?
Do we have any such thing today?
No.
So why do you ask questions that are irrelevant, my friend, that would not benefit you or the Muslims, number one. Number two, that would not draw you closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Such questions may be used against you, against your religion, especially at times of weakness and humility. So anyhow, I'll see to that, inshallah. Finally, we have, okay, Amir from Sweden.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
My question is, are we allowed to hit the face in self-defense? And what about war?
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. Furqan from India. Furqan. So, I don't think we have any Furqan. We have Furqan, but not from India, definitely. We have a short break. Stay tuned and inshallah, we'll be right back.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I'm going to talk about the book Interactions of the Greatest Leader. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no one's wealth helped me as much as the wealth of Abu Bakr helped me. After which Abu Bakr began to weep and say, and is my life and wealth for anything besides you, O Messenger of Allah? This narration shows the level of etiquette and humbleness that Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, had in the presence of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For he likened himself to a slave of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam by saying that his wealth was only for the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as well as his soul and self. This comes as no surprise, for the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has more right on the believers than themselves. He, may Allah be pleased with him, spent his wealth in the cause of Allah, and he consoled the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam through his own self. So the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam recognized that for him and said, in order to build his stature and to remind the ummah of his virtues, no one's wealth helped me as much as the wealth of Abu Bakr helped me. Among the benefits of this narration, it is important to keep good manners and humbleness in the presence of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. thanking someone who has bestowed some favor on you, as well as supplicating for them, is part of having good manners. Reported by Al-Bukhari, reported by Al-Tirmidhi, and Ibn Majah. Albani ruled it authentic in his book Sahih al-Jami', the explanation of As-Sindi on the book of Ibn Majah, and At-Taysir بشرح الجامع الصغير.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah and welcome back. So Ahmed from South Africa, he says, we have an issue which is the Prophet ﷺ orders us to do something. So his sunnah is fixed. Then the four righteously guided caliphs whom the Prophet ﷺ told us to follow his sunnah and their sunnah, do something that is different. What are we to do? This is an issue which means that you can do either one and both are correct according to the ijtihad of the Muslim ruler. For example, the Prophet ﷺ in flogging the one who drinks intoxicants, they used to flog 40 lashes. When Umar came and people used to drink like fish and 40 is nothing, so he consulted the companions, and if I'm not mistaken, Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, the fourth caliph, said, when a person drinks and gets wasted, he starts to slander, and slandering's punishment is 80 lashes. So you can go up to 80 lashes, and he did so. And since then, everybody is being flogged 80 lashes for getting drunk or consuming intoxicants. If the Muslim ruler thought that, no, I'd like to go back to 40, would that be okay? That would be okay. This is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. If someone says, no, I'm going to stick with 80 because all the companions agreed upon it and nobody went against it, this is okay. So it is dependent on the ijtihad of the Muslim ruler. Likewise, the Prophet ﷺ time, you say to your wife, I divorce you thrice, or divorce. The Prophet used to count it as one, ﷺ. Abu Bakr used to count it as one. Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, in the beginning of his reign, used to count it as one. Then when he saw that people are making it easy to throw 3 divorces at once, he said, no, as a punishment, it's 3. And many schools of thought adopted this opinion, and it continued. Nowadays, it's up to the Muslim judge to decide which one to take, and both opinions are fine. So when it comes to the adhan, if the imam of the masjid wants to have one adhan, this is fine. Because the second adhan, which was introduced by Uthman, was for a reason. And this reason does not exist anymore. But if he wants to maintain the sunnah of Uthman, that's perfectly fine, of having 2 adhans. And if he wants to let that or limit that to 1 adhan, this is also fine, and there's no reason to fight over it. Latifa says, what's the ruling on praying wearing socks? Because some scholars say that wearing socks is also not permissible because it gives the shape of the foot. Well, there are things that you cannot hide. A woman's height cannot be hidden. A woman's size cannot be hidden. So things that cannot be hidden are exempted. And likewise, the size of the foot. Nobody, normally speaking, unless those who have fetish feelings, etc., I don't know what they call it, would be looking at the size of the foot, because all feet look the same. Likewise, when you wear a glove, all hands look the same with a glove on. So this is permissible, inshallah, and there's no problem in doing that. To add some more information, is praying while covering the feet for women mandatory? It's an issue of dispute. The Maliki and the Shafi'i school of thought, they say it is mandatory to cover the feet. And the Hanafi school of thought and an opinion, Imam Ahmad, and it was adopted also by Sheikh Assim Al-Hakeem and Ibn Uthaymeen, that it is not mandatory. So without any doubt, it's the safest opinion to cover. Because if you come on the Day of Judgment covering your feet while praying, nobody would criticize you or say, why did you do that? But if you prayed without covering your feet during Salat, there is a possibility, according to the Maliki and the Shafi'i school of thought and other scholars like Sheikh bin Baz, that your prayer is invalid. So why risk it? Safe rather than sorry. Taimur from the UK, can we pray at home when it's raining? If the rain is heavy and it would wet your clothes or the mud would soil your clothes and there is hardship, yes, you can pray home without a problem. Halima from France, her brother has an issue of when cleaning himself after urinating, he feels that splashes of the water came back from the toilet seat to his buttocks. And some of the people I've met in counseling sessions say they feel it on their necks. And I don't know whether they were washing or dropping rocks so that it would splash this high. Most of these are whispers of shaitan. And the default is, if there is certainty, you have to wash it off. If there is no certainty, then ignore it. And when we say certainty, when you wash yourself with water, the amount that splashes back from the toilet seat can be urine, can be water, can be little urine mixed with a lot of water because the water overwhelms the amount of urine. So are you certain that this is najasa or not? Certain 100%. And you have proof of it? Everybody will say, I don't have proof. I'm not certain, but I'm most likely. If you're not certain with finding a color, a taste, a smell, then there is doubt. And whenever there is doubt, we cast the doubt away. To be safe rather than sorry, wet your hand, wipe your buttocks with the water that is in your hands. That's sufficient to remove the impurity, which we initially don't, we are not certain that it is an impurity to begin with, but just to be safe rather than sorry. What happens if I touch my clothes? This is a whole different ball game. People consider impurities worse than the plague, worse than COVID-19, because they make one tiny splash or drop spread all over the place, the carpet, the sofas, the door handles and the knobs and the switches. What is this? Even a virus cannot spread this far. So people are making life difficult. Islam is not a difficult religion. Islam is a religion of ease. None of the companions ever suffered from this, nor the tabi'een. So are you more righteous and practicing than them to have these ideas? Are you the chosen one? Of course not. So ignore these and move on. Faizan from India, if I am in the state of wudu and I wear shorts, akhi, not if you wear shorts, if you take off your clothes and you're nude, this does not have any impact on your wudu. Your wudu is still intact unless you break your wudu. So it doesn't matter if you expose your aura or not. Labib from Bangladesh, we have a custom. When my brother-in-law comes to take his wife, which is my sister, we have a gate outside of the door, and in order for him to pass, he has to pay like a toll. He has to pay a fee for her siblings, her parents. So is this permissible or not? If this has nothing to do with any pagan customs or any disbelieving religions, kafir religions, and it's just a custom, there's nothing wrong in that as long as he's doing it willingly, inshallah. Riyal from Bangladesh, can we support disbelievers in their sports? So Italy is playing with England, I think. I don't know. So if we support England or support Italy, would we be committing an act of kufr? No. it wouldn't, but this is a little bit ridiculous, with all due respect. Yani. You are supporting the tactics, the art used in this game. You like this coach, you like this player, the way he maneuvers, not their religion. So by supporting them, there is nothing that impacts your religion, though I'm totally against watching football matches. It's a waste of time for a proper Muslim. 90 minutes watching 20 people running after a ball. As I always say, buy a ball for each one of them and let them be content with it instead of fighting over one ball. And not only that, if you play, that's good. But watching them, supporting them, I would consider this to be waste of time. Haram? No, it's not haram. When the Byzantines fought at the time of the Prophet ﷺ with the Persians, who were fire worshippers, all the Muslims took the side of the Byzantines, who were Christians, while the idol worshippers of Quraysh took the side of the Persians because they were pagans and idol worshippers, fire worshippers like them, not people of the book. So the Muslims supported the Christians in their fight against these fire worshippers. Jannat al-Firdaus from US. Surah Al-Kahf, the ahadith are inshallah authentic. Whoever recites them on the day of Friday, there will illuminate light from underneath his feet to the heavens till the next week. Do we see the light? No. Do we know the nature of the light? No. But we can interpret it as good deeds. Does it protect from the Dajjal? No. What protects you from the Dajjal is to memorize the first or the last 10 verses of this surah. This is what protects you, not reciting it every Friday, and Allah knows best. Sally from Germany. So they say that washing the face in wudu has to be from ear to ear. Is it included in wudu? The ears? The answer is no, of course not. It has to be from ear, so it's from this to the other side of the face. The ears are not included, your earrings are not included, and the technicalities that some people say that, okay, I left like 1 centimeter or half a centimeter between my ear and my sideburns, would that be considered to be nullifying your wudu? Akhi, this technicality came from the scholars of fiqh, of schools of thought. It wasn't mentioned in the hadith. In the hadith, it was mentioned to wash your face. What is face in Arabic? It is what faces people. So this is my face. This little half a centimeter or here or there, nobody talked about it at the time of the Prophet ﷺ or the companions, to my knowledge. So to go into such minute details, it's like what the English say, the devil is in the details. This is what makes your life difficult. Oh, Sheikh, the splashes that I may have felt on the back of my shoulder while urinating. The devil is in the details. Generally speaking, you urinate, you wash yourself, you leave with total ease without getting these confusions and waswas. Sharif from India says, his friend left home, now he's back, depressed, angered with his parents, and they don't know how to speak to him. Akhi, this is something you have to face this person with. You have no right to be angry with your parents. You are the kid, you are the child. Even if they beat you with a shoe every single day, you have to smile in their faces and say, Jazakumullahu khair. Imam al-Shafi'i was asked, can a man argue with his parents? So many of us argue with their parents. Why? Why did you do this? You shouldn't have done that. And complain it. So a man comes to Imam Shafi'i, says, can a man argue with his parents? Imam Shafi'i says, he cannot argue not even with their shoes, let alone argue with them. Muslims nowadays don't appreciate the role of parents, don't know that they won't be admitted to Jannah unless they're dutiful and obedient to their parents. And this is why we find such imbeciles running away from the home for a number of days and then coming back, and his friends are afraid what might he do to himself. Whatever he does to himself, that's his problem. He wants to go to hell? Be my guest. You want to go to paradise? Go and kiss their feet. Go and apologize. And be patient and tolerant to whatever comes from your parents' side if you want Jannah. Abir from Pakistan. What's the difference between fasakh al-nikah, khul' talaq? Fasakh al-nikah is done by the Muslim ruler or the Muslim judge, where he deems that the relationship or the marriage cannot continue. A woman complains to the judge, my husband is a drug addict, he's a junkie, he's a dealer, he's in prison, and I can't sustain marriage with him. The husband, would you divorce? No, I wouldn't divorce. Immediately the judge says, you're divorced. This is fasakh, separation. The power given to the Muslim ruler or judge to break such a marriage. Khul' is when a woman doesn't want to continue with the man. So the man says, I'm not divorcing you. She says, I'm not living with you. Here we tell her to give him back his dowry. How much did he paid you on the wedding night? She says, only $1,000. Take your $1,000. The judge separates between them, and this is known as khul'. Divorce is when a man willingly divorces his wife by saying, I give you divorce or I divorce you. So I hope this answers your question. Salhin from Canada, he says, isn't it that the 10 days of the Hijjah in the morning better than the 10 nights, better than the 10 days of Ramadan in the morning, and the 10 nights of Ramadan at night are better than the 10 nights of the 10 of the Hijjah at night? This is what some scholars try to combine both opinions by, but the hadith is crystal clear. أفضل أيام الدنيا العشر. The best days of the whole world is the 10 days of the Hijjah, and Allah knows best. Muhammad from the Emirates, he says, is burping a sign of overeating? How would I know, akhi? I'm not a physician. Yes, there is a hadith when a man burped in the presence of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet said to him, my friend or my brother or whatever, refrain from burping loudly, because those who will starve the longest on the Day of Judgment are those who are mostly full in this life. And this hadith was graded Hasan by Ibn Hajar in Fath al-Bari. Some scholars say that this is weak as well. But how would I know that if this is an indication of overeating? Sometimes you may take medication or antibiotics that would cause you to do this, and Allah knows best. Muhammad from the US, what's the ruling on 401k? 401k is a retirement scheme where you work and you pay the money, and then at the end of your working experience or working years, when you retire, they give you a monthly salary so that you can live off it. And we said so many times that such provident funds or retirement schemes, if they are voluntary, meaning I'm working, what is your job? I am an IT expert. Good job. How much they're paying you? They're paying me $5,000. Good. So now they come to me and say, listen, if you give us $500 for 20 years, when you retire after 20 years, we're going to give you $4,000 a month, indefinitely. If this is optional, this is haram. Why? Because my $500 throughout the 20 years is a lump sum. And what I'm getting from them after retirement can be this big if I don't die, and it can be this little if I die early, and it's gone down the drain. So this is gambling. This is like insurance. This is totally haram. If the 401k is mandatory by law, so whether you like it or not, whether your employer likes it or not, the government mandates that any employee has to pay a certain percentage of his salary, and the employer has to contribute a certain percentage from his basic salary, and we collect this in a fund for the government. Once he reaches the age of retirement, he can receive a salary every month till the day he dies. This case, it's halal. Now, to my knowledge, the 401k is not halal because you have the power any time of the year to withdraw whatever you had deposited in the previous years of your employment, which means it's an optional thing, and Allah knows best. Muhammad Saleh from India, the school doesn't allow us to grow a beard. Can we trim it? The answer is no. And you must not obey your school in whatever is sinful. And this is a big problem nowadays. People are compromising their religion. They're giving in to any pressure, even if it were imaginary. They give in. So, oh, sorry, we can't wear the niqab. Take it off. Oh, sorry, they compel our women not to wear the hijab. Take it off. Oh, we can't wear long skirts. Many skirts looks fine. And it goes on and on. We can't pray in the masjid because they label us as Muslims. We can't. What remains of your religion? When you compromise the way you look, what you eat and drink, when you compromise your convictions by allowing your children to study haram things about LGBT and to accept it as if it's the norm, and things that are blasphemous, what remains of your Islam? So, akhi, you have to draw the line and say no. Muhammad from Pakistan, why do we call Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah when Bukhari and Muslim and the compilers of the 4 books of Sunan, Abi Dawud, Tirmidhi, Nasai, Ibn Majah, did not call themselves as such? And akhi, who cares? Whether you call yourself Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah or not doesn't mean anything. It's not a label that you will not enter Jannah without it. The name itself has no significance that would make an issue out of it. What are you? A Muslim. What type of a Muslim? A Muslim. I'm a Muslim. Nowadays, because of the so many deviant sects and cults, which the Prophet ﷺ told us about, his ummah will be divided into 73 sects, all in hell except one. So, which one is it? You call them Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, you call them Ahlul Hadith, you call them Salafis, you call them Ta'if al-Mansura, you call them Al-Firqa al-Najiyah. Names are cheap. Anyone could collect a name. So, Sheikh, what's your name? I am the most powerful man on earth. Prove it. I don't need to prove it. I just call myself this. I'm the smartest person on earth. I'm the richest person on earth. I can do whatever I want. It's a name. But when push comes to shove, here is where you have to prove it. So if you claim that you're Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, but you believe that the Prophet ﷺ was created of Allah's light, or that it's permissible to worship graves, or to call the dead, or to do this or to do that, or to innovate in Islam, then it doesn't matter whether you're Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah or any other label, because your conviction is what counts on the Day of Judgment. The terminology which was used by Sheikh Al-Islam Taymiyyah and the scholars who came afterwards in referring to the followers of the favorite 3 generations. So they follow the Quran and the Sunnah with the understanding of the 3 favorite generations. They would call them Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Why would anybody find it difficult to accept this? No, Shaykh, we don't want to call ourselves Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Don't. Excuse me, don't. What do you want to call yourself? Oh, we're Muslims. Khalas, you're Muslims. There's no problem in that. So if a group who want to identify themselves with a label or a name, not as a party, but rather as a clarification of the methodology of their thinking, of their aqeedah, of the manhaj they're following, there's no problem in that, and Allah knows best. Shihab from Bangladesh, we've addressed his issue. This is an Islamic concept, but not every Islamic concept is wise to open any time or in any venue. What is this Islamic concept? Now, I'm calling people to Islam. Would it be wise to begin to talk about circumcision for men? And they are not revert yet, they haven't accepted Islam. This is the last of my priority list. If I'm calling women to Islam, should I say that, yes, a man can marry 4 of women, so you can be one of other 3 co-wives? No, this is not wise. And likewise, when the people are all, according to the media, of disbelievers and hypocrites, are all accusing Islam of being a bloody religion that promotes violence. This is a blatant lie. And everybody knows that. Even the disbelievers themselves acknowledge that, whoa, the media has gone a little bit far. This is not true. We know. We have thousands of Muslim friends, and they're the sweetest people on earth. If the Muslims wanted to kill us, they would have done that long time ago, and they would have annihilated us. There are 2 billion of them. So it goes without saying. But when we come to the beginning of the time, when there was a standing war, an existing war between Islam and the disbelievers, the idol worshippers, the Prophet ﷺ used to send envoys, expeditions, armies to expand the territory and to call people to Islam. He did not say invade, kill, burn, and annihilate. On the contrary, he said, the first thing you do is give them da'wah, call them to Islam, show them the beauty of our religion, show them the Quran, show them the system we have. If they accept it, leave them alone. They're Muslims like you, move on. Let them be. They're Muslims. If they say, no, we're not accepting this religion, we don't like it, then tell them that they have to pay what is known as taxation or jizya. If they pay it, and it's a very small amount, only to be paid by men. Women, children, elderly, they don't pay anything. Only men. And it's similar to the zakat amount that all Muslims pay. In exchange for protection, for living their lives without our interference. If they do so, move on. If they say, no, we will not pay you anything, then we have to fight. So people say, oh, there is compulsion in religion. This is forcing people by the sword. No. Look what the superpowers are doing to the Muslims and to the non-Muslims alike. They're invading them. They're killing them. They are destroying their infrastructure. They are killing them in the millions. And I don't have to give examples. You can look it up. You can Google it. What had happened in the past 30 years. Mass weapons of destruction or weapons of mass destruction, and they could not find a thing. So then they said, sorry, after killing millions, you come and say sorry? So did anybody talk about their bloody religion or bloody democracy? No, of course. So don't open topics that would not benefit Islam and the Muslims at the moment when the Muslims are so weak and so vulnerable and so separated. When the time comes, then people would see the beauty of Islam as it should be seen, and Allah knows best. Finally, Amir, I think his name is Amir, from Sweden, he says, is it permissible to strike or to hit the face? The answer is no. The Prophet said, do not hit the face. And it is prohibited to hit the face. Then he says, what about in fighting, in jihad? Even in jihad, you're not allowed to hit the face. This is prohibited. You have the whole body. And the face is something that Allah has honored. You want to kill someone, there are so many other parts and areas in the body that can assist you to do this, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. This is all the time we have until we meet tomorrow, Sunday at 4 o'clock Mecca time. I leave you في أمان الله. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.